All right, guys, welcome back to another video in the garage minus the corona problems. So there's not a whole lot to do on the weekends now, especially it's raining like crazy. There's nowhere to go. Can't go out and eat, can't go to the bar, can't go to the movies, nothing like that. So what better way to spend your time besides working on your hot rod or the truck or something in the garage? So here we are. In this video we have a few things to do, kind of some boring stuff on the truck, but we're waiting for the glass guy is going to come out and put the windshield and the rear window in probably sometime next week. And so that's just to kind of get the interior sealed up and keep the dust and junk out of it, and as we make it pretty, if you will, and all that kind of stuff. And I think I explained it in the first video, but I think the order of business is going to be to get the firewall plate put on, which it is made already, get the air conditioner box mounted, get the hole cut for the AC lines, and then we can drop the engine in and the inner fender aprons in, get all that stuff buttoned up and make it look good. So in this particular episode, we're going to put in the ignition key cylinder, the door locks, and stuff like that. But I don't have the original key, so we got to find out how to get that thing out of there. So let us go do that right now. Okay, so if you have never done this before, taking the steering wheel off and all that jazz, the GM products like this have this little bitty E-clip. See if this thing will focus a little bit. Come on, camera, work with me here. Where are you? Focus. Come on, there you go. You can see it pretty good there. Had that little retainer clip. It works a lot like an E-clip. If you have snap ring pliers, that works to get these off. Or you can put needle nose pliers in there like that and just spread the jaws open. Works pretty good too. And if all else fails, you stick a pick in there in one of those grooves and you pry the thing out and you let it go flying and hope you can find it again. So we got the clip out. We just got to take the nut off the steering shaft and see if we can get this thing out of here. It wasn't that tight. So for those of us who do not have a steering wheel puller, there is an option. You take that nut and you screw it back on there most of the way to where the tip of the steering column is exposed. And then you're going to take a hammer and a piece of soft metal like aluminum, and you're going to hit the piece of the exposed steering column shaft while you have pressure on the steering wheel with your leg. So it's pulling out on the steering wheel and hitting the steering shaft inward breaks it loose. But the important part to know is that you have that part of the steering shaft, you have the nut screwed down on it, A, so you don't pull the steering wheel off and smack yourself in the face. I've never done that before. And B, so you kind of protect the threads a little bit. You do not want to booger the threads up. So I'm going to pull up on it with my knee. And that's all it takes. Take the nut back off of it. And there you go. By the way, I'm really happy that that actually worked on the video, because there's been a couple of times when it didn't work because the steering wheel was froze. And those are the times you really do need a steering wheel puller. Alright, this part, again, if you have never done this before, save yourself some heartache. Go down to the parts store and either buy one of these or order it off of Amazon. I'll put the link in the description. Or rent one from the parts store, one or the other. Don't try to do this by hand because it is a beating to do this. And this is just the lock plate. So all you have to do is take this tool and compress that lock plate a little bit, just enough. There's a little snap ring down in there. And it doesn't take much to get that thing out. Okay, so tighten the nut on the top of the tool down just enough where there's maybe a 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch of clearance underneath the snap ring, and it's just a piece of spring steel, a little piece of wire. So you get yourself a couple of picks, one that's got a bent end and one that's got a straight end. And you take the straight end one, you put it in one of the splines and pry it out a little bit. You take the one with the hook, so as I can get a hold of this thing here. You get the one with the hook underneath it, like I did right there, and you probably can't see it in the video, but you get that thing out of that groove and don't let it go. And you do like that, work it out of the groove as you go around. Okay, I think you can see that in the camera, but it's actually out of the groove and up. So now I can take the tool off of it. Okay. You can use the detent plate to use it to pull that ring back up with you. That's what the ring looks like by itself. There, you can see there's no way to really grab that thing. And it's a little bit of a pain. Even with the right tools, it's kind of a pain. Okay, so there's 3, 4, 5 screws that you have to take loose in order to get the cam lock mechanism out that the turn signal operates. So the first one you take out holds this little bracket in, and that's just the detent for the turn signal. And then there's 3 of these little screws. One is still sitting in the plastic thing. Come on. There, it's in there somewhere. Anyway, you get the idea. There's 3 of those screws, and then this whole mechanism slides out, and you'll probably have to help the wires down here at the bottom to pull it out enough to get to the screw that holds the retainer or the key in. So now it's time to take that little screw out that holds that in, and then that's going to be the end of it. We'll go back together. Okay, so this is the bolt that holds the lock cylinder in place. Come on there. You can see it's a special bolt, not something that you're going to find anywhere mere mortals hang out. So be sure to not lose that. If you're watching this for instructional purposes, don't lose that bolt. That is an important one. Outside of that, you should be able to, at this point, take the lock cylinder out just like that. So, yeah, that's part of the project done. I got the new one sitting right over here in the table, so let's get that thing put in the reverse order and have some keys. Okay, new lock cylinder. I got the keys sitting right down here somewhere. This one is black and not chrome like the original because, well, I wanted black stuff. So anyways, I took the key out so this thing can't rotate, and it has the little, I think you can see it right there, the little lock line. It lines up with the arrow on the column when you go to put this thing in the first time. And it's probably not going to drop right in place, so you kind of have to work it a little bit. Come on. You can do it. May have to put the key in it. Let's see what it does. There. That's all it took. Take the key back out. Take your very special bolt. Knock stuff in the floor. And then it goes right back in that little hole. All right, and just for the record, when you put the lock in, it doesn't go all the way in. It lacks about 1/8 of an inch of going in all the way. If you push it all the way in, the bolt won't go in. So pull the lock out about 1/8 of an inch. Now the bolt goes in. Tighten the bolt down. Put the key in. See if everything works. And it looks like it works right. And what you're looking for down here on the steering column is to see that the arm moves in and out. And this particular one, the ignition switch is bent off of the key and it's not on there correctly yet. So anyways, we have keys and that is the mission. Then reverse everything like so. All right, once you've done that, slide the horn plastic doodad piece back on there. Line your splines up on your detent plate. Get it ready to go. Go ahead and slide the snap ring over in place right now. Don't want to forget that. The plastic piece can wait. That's just more or less a dust shield. I should have taken it off before, but that doesn't really matter. You tighten the nut down on the tool to where the groove for the snap ring is exposed. And then you take the snap ring and you fish it back down. Similarly to how you did it before, taking it off. All right, so now the snap ring is started. Take it, put it back down. Falls into the groove. Take the tool back off. And then we put the tool back in storage for another 20 years. I don't think I've used that thing in 20 years. I can't believe I still have it in all the pieces. All right, guys, thanks for stopping by. It's just a couple of tricks, a couple of techniques, if you will, to get the steering wheel off if you don't have a puller, and to get the ignition tumbler out and all that good stuff and get it changed out when you do not have a key. So that is the end of the video. Thanks for stopping by and checking it out. If you made it this far, congratulations. You have won the internet once again. Be sure to stay tuned, subscribe if you haven't, hit the notification icon and all that good stuff for the rest of the build coming up on the S10. We'll see you in the next video.